the face. Okay, welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur. Welcome to everybody here in Amud Yomi Shiur Maseches Kiddushin. Today's Amud is, what's today's Amud? Remind me, it is Yud Zayin Amud Beis. But right now we're in the very, very bottom of Yud Zayin Amud Aleph. Kiddushin Yud Zayin Amud Aleph. Shiur is dedicated to all the people who, Metz Hashem, will be released very soon from Gaza. Yeah, okay. There's somebody on the phone on Zoom. Baruch Hashem. Basically, we're learning now about the gifts that an Eved is supposed to receive from his Odoin. If the person had an Eved Ivri that was sold by who? Sold by Beis Din, not sold by himself, sold by Beis Din. At the end of the 6 years, he's supposed to get gifts. He's supposed to get gifts. He's supposed to get gifts. What kind of gifts? Only things that produce, that are basically things like things that grow on the ground, yeah, or things that grow by themselves as animals, right? And the example that the Torah gives you is tzoin and gedogon vetirosh. Yeah, it has to be. You have to give him from your cattle, from your dogon, from your what's his name, from the cereal, from the grains, and from the wine, right? These are 3 examples for things that grow naturally by themselves, either in the ground or they multiply. These are the things you have to give him. How much are you supposed to give him? There was a machloikes, either 15 seller worth, 30 or 50. The Rambam paskins, middle of the road, the golden way of the Rambam, he says, like the middle one, Rabbi Yehuda Shloishim. You have to give the Eved 30. Now, the 30 doesn't have to be dafka from those 3 types. You can give him anything that grows on the tree, anything that grows from the ground, or any kind of animal, even non-kosher animals, right? As we're going to see soon. Now, so what is the Torah coming to? Now, however, there are 2 things that don't grow naturally, and we saw it's a machloikes. I'm now summarizing what we saw already before. Machloikes Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. Rabbi Shimon says that money is excluded. You can't give him cash. Why? Because cash, I don't think, you can't sow it in the ground. You can't plant it and have a dollar tree. Be a very nice investment. Yeah, maybe that will be the new startup. But as of now, this kind of doesn't work. So because kesef doesn't really multiply itself, sadly so kesef you can't give him. However, according to Rabbi Shimon, according to some Rishonim, you may give him mules. Mules? What does mules have to do with anything? Mules don't multiply. Although mules don't multiply, but lemaisa, they do get fatter, they do become physically bigger. You really groom your your mule, and you feed her nicely, she'll become the big animals. Mules, they're like the size of a horse. I've seen many of them in Jordan all the time. Yeah, whatever, all types of mules. I can't say this online. Yeah, I have to be politically correct. Now, what? Yeah. Now, what about the other opinion? Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov says no. The produce, the mule is something you do not give. Yeah, the mule, no, because the mule is something that doesn't, you can't, in other words, how they say, mules you can't give and money you can. Why can you give money? Because money you can't plant in the ground, but you can invest. Money is something that's normally invested. You invest something like the money, yeah, and then Rashi says also clothes. Yeah, maybe other items, yeah, that's normal, things that it's normal to invest, like money, invest the money, you make more money, you make a nice hit in the stock market, you get more money, and therefore, according to this opinion, money is included, while produce, according, again, it's Machlokes Rishonim, some say is excluded. Yeah, produce is not something like money, maybe can invest also mules, I'm not sure why not, but that's what he says. In any event, that's what we're holding up until now. We are now in the 3rd line from the bottom of the page, V'tzricha. V'tzricha, 3rd line from the bottom of the page, Yud Zayin Amud Aleph. The question of V'tzricha is, why, if the Torah only wants to tell me that there's really one type of thing that you can give the guy, the Eved. What is it? Anything that grows from the ground, anything that grows from the animal world, yeah? Why do you have to say 3 words? Yeah, why do you have to say tzoin, goren, and yekev? Why 3 examples to say something that's more or less the same? V'tzricha, says the Gemara, yes, the Torah did have to tell me all 3. The ikos orachmono tzoin, had the Torah told me tzoin, which is kettle, havamina balechaim in gidul karkaloi. In other words, if the Torah would have only told you tzoin, you wouldn't have automatically know that gidul karka, meaning things growing from the ground, are included. Not at all. in Chashabas, in many areas of halacha. Last time I checked, even in the Goyish world, in the science world, yeah, animals and vegetation, whatever, yeah, flora and fauna, right? It's not the same. Yeah, mechitesi. I would have said tzoin, give him tzoin. That means animals. Why? I don't know, but that's what Torah says. I wouldn't have known automatically. I can give him grapes and papayas and kiwi. No, it says tzoin. So obviously, you have to say goyren. You have to say something that grows from the ground. Yeah, kosav rachmana goyren. Now the Torah said goyren. When the Torah says give him something from the grains, from the cereals, now I'm smarter because of goyren. Had the Torah only tell me goyren that grows from the ground, right? The other way around. Had the Torah tell me goyren, I would have expanded it as much as any other thing that grows in the ground. It's also chiddush. Yeah, even star fruit, even I don't know what. Yeah, chili pepper. But I wouldn't have known animals. That's a whole different world. So maybe not. Therefore, kosav rachmana tzoin. So tzoin and goren is not a question why you wrote both. You don't make automatic comparison between things that grow on the ground and things that don't. All over halacha for Tumah and Tara, it's just two different things. Therefore, these two make sense. Now, the third question is harder. Yekev lamali. Why do you have to write yekev? Yekev is just another example. Wine. Why do you have to write wine, right? I know already the things that grow from the ground, they are included. So why do you have to add the yekev, the wine, the grapes, the vine? What for? Answers lemar lemiuti ksofim, lemar lemiuti podos. Funnily enough, the wine actually comes to exclude. Wine comes to exclude either money according to one man de Omar, yeah, or to exclude podos, to exclude the mules according to the other. And the question is obvious. What do you mean? Why do they have to be excluded? There are things that don't multiply naturally. We found a common denominator, right, between tzoin and goren. Things that multiply, either they multiply when you stick them to you plant them in the ground and they grow, or they get married, and they multiply, male, female. But obviously, so ksofim and prodos, they don't fit the description. So why do you need another pasuk to exclude them? Says Rashi. You have to see this Rashi. There's also Tosfos here, but let's see Rashi now. Lemiuti, says Rashi. The lo tema, if not for this pasuk that's exclusive, I would have said Asher berachecho. Remember there was an all-inclusive pasuk that says what? Whatever Hashem blessed you with. Anything Hashem blessed him? Okay. Many people are not blessed with fruit. They're not blessed with animals, but they're blessed with cash. They have a bank account, Kanana Horo, 8 digits, yeah. Ribuya veriba hakol. I would have thought maybe Asher berachecho comes to include everything: money, mules, Chinese toys, everything. Bekevan this Rabbi Gidul Karka Ubali Chaim Bekol Sheken Ksofim. So too money. Some people don't say Kol Sheken. Once you say anything, it's Gidul Karka and also Asher berachecho, also money and also mules. That's why we need another pasuk to limit that, yeah, to limit and say no. The Torah Kilu tells you once more, no, don't go overboard. When the Gethen, the Yekev comes to tell you, when I told you things that multiply naturally, I mean only things that multiply naturally, and not money and not prodos. Although it says Asher berachecho, don't misinterpret the word Asher berachecho to add more things. Now, that is obviously true. Each man de Omar would obviously say that this is not completely true. In other words, one man de Omar says that ksofim is included, and one would say produce are included because he believes that they're too similar to the fruit and vegetables and the animals, right? Now, the one who says that ksofim are included, he would say things that multiply. What multiplies? Animals multiply. Apples and oranges multiply, and money multiplies in a different way. He still includes them. When the Torah says, hey, stop right there, by Yekev, it's only excluding produce, the mules, and the other way around, the other opinion. That's all. So now we know what we can give, what we don't give. Yes. Weiter. You know not what not to give me for my birthday. Ton Rabbanon. Sorry. Why? So. Ton Rabbanon. Asher berachecho Hashem Elokecho. It says what in the pasuk? It says give him from these three types. Yeah, why? Asher berachecho Hashem Elokecho, that Hashem blessed you with. Fragt the Braisa. Yochel nisbarach bais bigloloi ma'anikim loi. Loy nisbach bais bigloloi ein manikim loy. Is the Torah making your condition? Is the Torah telling me that this Eved, because he came to you, then since he came, your house became full of bracha? Exactly like Joseph in Egypt, or maybe Yosef in Mitzrayim. I'm not sure. When Yosef came, magic. Once this guy came, not this guy, Chas v'sholom, this tzaddik Yosef came to Potiphar, everything was blessed except for his wife. Yeah? Everything was blessed, everything, bloomed, everything got amazing. Is the Torah telling me that Asher Berachecha, if I saw that during the last 6 years business are blooming and I have no other way of explaining it except for the presence of Mr. Eved, then I'll give him nicely. But let's say things did not become better. Since he came, no, things have not improved at all. Actually, half the cutlery in my house is now lost and whatever, half the plates are broken, whatever. So maybe then I should not give him. Maybe then if I don't see an improvement, an increase in the situation, in the blessing, maybe I don't give him. Maybe it's a conditional thing. Talmud loymar hanek tanik mikol mokoim. Why does it say twice hanek tanik? No, leave alone surely. Hanek tanik mikol mokoim. It says twice give and again give. Even though there is no blessing in the house, regardless of whether the house was blessed or not blessed, regarding to the increase in your financial situation or decrease or anything in between, you still have to give him hanek tanik. Question is, if so, why is the Torah telling you give him tzoincha, right? And then it's telling you the tzoin, goren, and yekev that Hashem blessed you. Why is it relevant that Hashem blessed me or not? What is the pasuk coming to tell me then? Answers the Gemara, hakol lefi bracha ten loy, which means if ein chinami the house became more blessed, then you should give him more. Yeah, then you give him more than the minimum. However, if the house was not blessed, you're not allowed to give him less than the minimum. This is very, very simple. I'll tell you this in simple English. There's a minimum, there's no maximum. Also in Hebrew, minimum velo maximum. There's a minimum of 30 shekel lahalocha worth of fruit or animals you give him, regardless of your financial situation, regardless of he brought blessing or not. That's the minimum. There's no maximum. If you want to give him more, there's a mitzvah of giving him more. You're not over allowed. It's not lo tishlechen ureikam. You didn't leave him empty-handed. But if you can afford 60, give him 60, especially if you see those blessings in the house since he came, then give him more. The more the better, the more the merrier. But there's no less. Yeah, don't make the other condition the other way. There is the minimum of 30. You cannot go below that, right? The more you give, the better. Maybe yes, maybe it's part of the mitzvah. Maybe it's part of the mitzvah, but it's a second mitzvah. There's a mitzvah to give him more. Yeah, it sounds like that. Rashi says, Im nisbar chabais b'shviloi harbe toisif alerekoi. The Torah says, do give him more. You're not over the lav of lo tishlachem ureikam, but the asay is increased when you give him more. You're doing more of a mitzvah. Yeah, out of it's a second mitzvah or more qualitative, more quality of the mitzvah. In any event, it is a mitzvah to give more if you can. Rabbi Azariah argues and says, no, I believe the Torah, the way it's written, the simple way of reading. Wow. Rabbi Azariah says, no, the Torah does make it conditional. I should make a calculation from 6 years ago till now. Sit down by your computer, by your Excel sheet, and see how are things doing. He's working in the field. Is the field producing more? Give him. If the field did not produce more, then I don't have to give him at all. Wow. Okay, fine. That's the opinion of Rabbi Azariah. But now the obvious question is, if so, if so, what does he do with the double word hanik tanik? Bishlama, we wanted to say hanik tanik means give him always, unconditionally. He doesn't believe in that, Rabbi Azariah. So what does he do with the word hanik tanik? Double word. It's a Torah. Answers the Gemara. Sometimes the Torah, when we're pushed against the wall, we say it. Dibra Torah kilshoin bnei Odom. Sometimes the Torah, we saw it where in Bava Metzia Daf Lamed Alpha Lamed Beis. I think yes, yeah. We see it. Sometimes we see that the Torah says an extra word because the Torah wants to talk the way human beings talk. Sometimes the Torah, besides being the Heilige Torah and billions of secrets in every word, the Torah wants the text of the Torah to be readable. And therefore, sometimes the Torah throws in an extra word that in Pshat doesn't teach you anything. There are many secrets out there in Kabbalah, but I'm saying it doesn't teach anything in Pshat. There's no limud There's no real halacha you infer from the extra word. The extra word is there to make it sound more readable. And since back then, in the times of the Torah, people would talk like that, hanik tanik, which in English, is surely, yeah, here it is. Surely, you should surely give him, yeah, to make it sound more, more emphasis, to add emphasis, That's why the Torah talks like that, but it's not teaching any halacha, and we see this concept every once in a while. Okay? You wouldn't get what? He doesn't have a minimum. He doesn't have a minimum. No, no. No, could be he believes that if there is bracha, then you give him the 30. That could be agrees with Rabbi Yehuda. But the Maaseh says if the house wasn't blessed, I don't have to give him. He would tell if the house was blessed, then you go to Amud Aleph, and it's either 15, 30, or 50. Could be. I'm not sure. It's a good question. I'm not sure. But Rabbi Elazar ben Azai would say, yeah, tough, and a chinami. There's no minimum. If really I see that since the Eved came, all the plates are broken and all the windows are broken, and I don't know, the wheat is not doing better, the graph goes down, I don't have to give him. Employers also have rights, says Rabbi Elazar ben Azai, the way he reads the Torah. And a chinami. Weiter. Now let's talk about a point. I don't know if you got my chart or you didn't. I hope you did. One of the things that I wanted to stress in the chart was what happens when the Odon dies. Does one bequeath the Eved to his children or not? If you follow the chart nicely, and also what we said a few shiurim ago, then the next Gemara will be very readable, but this Gemara is anyhow easy. Don Rabbanon. Eved Ivri, Oived Saben, Ve'ena Oived Sabas. Eved Ivri, let's say the master died after 2, 3, 4 years out of how many? 6. Regular Eved Ivri. Yeah? Either sold by himself, sold by Beis Din. In that, we don't care regarding that. The Adon dropped dead at some point in the middle of the 6 years. Then automatically that Eved Ivri works for the son until when? Until 6 years are over. Until 6 years are up. The same 6 years. He doesn't have to add new 6 years if that's what you thought. No. He died at the 4th year, the end of the 4th year, to make it easy. He has to work 2 more years for Mr. Odon Jr. Odon Jr. employs him for 2 years, right? Now, what happens if the Yovel hits him? The Yovel hit him, and a chinami. Everything goes as normal as if the father was there. The Ema Eved Sabas. Let's say there are no sons, and the heiress, how do you say? The Bas, the Yoreshes, a woman who inherited. Heiress, that's what I said. Heiress, yeah. In other words, a lady inherited a girl, a woman, yeah, she inherited heiress, yeah. She inherited the father's everything, assets. For her, he doesn't work, and that's strange. Because normally, once a woman is Yoreshes, she has the same halachas as men. And here, from some reason, it's different. We're going to see why soon. Okay? So it works for the son, but not for the daughter, which is strange. And let me already tell you now, what happens? Here we come. What happens if there's no son, no daughter? Misken, he was childless. Then who gets his Yerusha? Don't tell me. Which is who? What? Usually it's a brother, but maybe he died a little bit young and he still has a father. The father. If not the father, then his brothers. So the same thing applies to them. It's nothing about men, women over here. Let's say he has no children, and the one who inherited him was his father or his brother. They don't get the Eved either. Only the son. It's something special. It's usually by Nachla, you don't say that. It's all the same. Here, the son is the only one who would continue to employ the Eved Ivri, and not any other heir or heiress. Why? That's a good question to look at soon. Now, Ama Ivriya, on the other hand, Eino Ovedes lo Esaben v'lo Esabas. Ama Ivriya goes fancy free. The second, the Odoin, not nice to say kick the butt, right? It's not a nice expression. Yeah, he passes. Once the demise of the Balabas, he deceased, yeah, and we all cry over his death. Then automatically she goes free, and she doesn't work neither for the son nor for the daughter. Hanirza, the Nirza, somebody who's been there already past the ear piercing, he's now waiting for the Yovel. He wants to say the extra until the Yovel. Or Banim Karlovet Kachovim, a Jew that was sold to a goy within the Jewish halacha. It's a guy who listens to Jewish law, either because he has to or because he wants to, yeah. In other words, a person who's nirza, similar to a woman, does not work for any heir or heiress b'chlal. So a woman slave is not inherited, she goes free. By the way, it's not a woman, it's a girl below 12. And also a person who nirtza, and we're going to see it later in Psukim, he too does not work for anybody else. Once the Odin is dead, he's free. And also third one who works for a goy. The one who was sold to Tim M. Then Tim M died. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was buried, he was cremated. And then what? And then Tim McKenzie does not bequeath him to Tim McKenzie Jr. No, he goes free, and that because they follow halacha in those points. Very nice. These are the facts. Now we're going to see the why, what, where, and how. Omar, Eved Ivri Oved Saben. They know Oved Sabas. He works for the son, but he doesn't work for the daughter or any other yoirish. Minanimili. How do you know that? The Tana Rabbanon. Listen up. Before we continue, where in the Torah does it talk about the Eved who works for 6 years because he was sold by Beis Din? In two parshas. One parshas Mishpatim, and the other one in parshas Re'ei. Parshas Re'ei in Dvarim. That's the one we read yesterday. Actually, that's what is Aniktanik, and it's very interesting, very I would say cool to see the small differences of how the 6 years are described, and that's going to explain to us the business of yes or no inheriting. Let's see. The Tanu Rabbanon. In one of the places it says, yeah, va'avod choshesh shonim. Va'avod choshesh shonim is in Parashas Re'ei. Va'avod cho, you. He works for you for 6 years. Who's you? Lecha velo leyoresh. He works for you and not for your heir, not for the yoresh. In other words, he doesn't work for anybody else. You died, kick the buck, excuse me, then he doesn't stay there, he goes home. Ata oimer lecha velo leyoresh. Wait a second, wait. He's saying you and not any other yoresh. Oy eno ela lecha velo leben. When we said yoresh, we assumed other yorshim such as the daughter, the father, the brother. Wait a second. Maybe really when the Torah says to you, it comes to even exclude the son. Again, what did we say about Eved Ivri? Let's not lose sight. Eved Ivri, the master of Eved Ivri dies. Who gets him and who doesn't get him? Please. Who would continue? The son. Let's say there's no son, then he goes home. He doesn't stay by the daughter or the brothers, right? I would say why? Because it says lecha comes to exclude any other yorshim, but does not exclude the son. The son is like lecha. How do you know? How do you know? Maybe the Torah says to you means you only you who bought him, not the son either. Why does the son get this privilege? Why is it different to any other heir? Says the Gemara, no. Look at the other pasuk in Parshas Mishpatim. Over there it says, Kshu Oimer, in Mishpatim it says, Shesh Shonim Ya'avod. You read the entire pasuk, it doesn't say you anywhere in the pasuk. It says he should work for 6 years. 6 years. The Odin died. You don't go home. You have to do 6 years. Nothing to do with l'chol lo lohim. Just you do 6 years. Arei leben omu. That comes to show you that you have to complete the 6 years by what? By working for the son. Wait a minute. If so, hamani mekayim v'avod choshesh shonim. But it does say he only works for you and not for the son. So what's going on? No, that's lecha v'lo leyoresh. In other words, we have two psukim. Let's summarize for now. One pasuk is exclusive. He works only for you. And that excludes what? Other yorshim that are not the son, right? And you have another pasuk that comes to include sheshonim yavod, anybody, including the son. But then it doesn't say it. We arbitrarily just decided to pin the tail to the donkey, as they say, and say what? The pasuk that's inclusive includes the son. The pasuk that's exclusive excludes other people. Correct the Gemara, the famous question, that repeats itself many times in Shas. Ma ro'isa. What makes you say that? What makes you connect one to A and two to B? Ma ro'isa l'rabes esaben u'lo yitzias sa'ach. Yeah, let's compare now the son to the brother. The son and the brother, yeah, let's say the son, a person has no son, has no daughter, has no father. Most people who die hopefully don't have a father. So it's a son versus the brother. What made you say that? What made you connect the pasuk that continues the slavery to connect to the son, and the pasuk that excludes him and sets him free to say the brother? If the surviving heir is a brother of the owner, then the Eved goes free. There are two psukim. What made you connect one to this and the other to the other? Answers the Gemara. Soon I'm going to write something on the chart. Okay. Merabe ani esaben. I'd like to include, basically what we're going to see now is, I would call it the competition. A competition, a race between the ben and the ach. Yeah? which one does it make sense to you more to connect to Yerusha? We have like it's like in math, a variable, an X, right? A variable in the formula, in the thing. Yeah, we don't know who is X, the winner, who will continue to own the Eved. It's a race, it's a competition. Is it the son of the deceased, or if there is no son, is it the brother? Which one is better? Now we're going to try and prove to say that the son makes more sense to say that the son inherits his father more than the brother. Why? Meraben Yesaben, the son, I'd like to include and add the son into the Yerusha of the Eved. You know why? Shekin kam tachas oviv liyada ulesde achuza. Okay, which means as follows. There are two places in the Torah where we see that the son is stronger than the brother. A person's son has more halachas related to him, is stronger halachically, has more applications regarding him, more than the brother of the person. Number one, I'm going to write it down. So it's not complicated, just something there. Yud. What's Yud? We saw Yud before. We'll see Yud in detail later. Yud means when a girl is sold by her father and he gets the money, and eventually the master or his son want to marry her. Meforshim Parshas Mishpatim. Im libno yadena. He wants to. Yud is a kind of Kiddushin. He wants to be Mekadesher to himself or the son, and the father agrees. They don't have to get new money. I don't need new money Kiddushin. The same money that was used originally now turns automatically into money of Kiddushin, and she's Mekudeshes. Alright, Mekudeshesly, with the money that I received for you 2 years ago. That's Yud. Yud only applies to a son or the person. Yeah, let's say the master's brother really likes that girl and the girl likes him also. You know what? She's 11 and a half and it's fine, whatever. Yeah. Then what? Then we say no. The brother, there's no Yud by the brother of the master, only by his son. Oh, so you see, 1 point. That's a scoreboard. Scoreboard 1-0 to who? The son. When it comes to Yud, the son is stronger than the brother. No Yud by brother. Oh, Sdei Achuza. Okay, Sdei Achuza. Buckle your seatbelts. Okay. Sdei Achuza is as follows. What's Sdei Achuza? Sdei Achuza means as follows. Let's say a person, please don't ask me about if the person bought the field. A person inherited the field from his Avos Avoisa from the times of Joshua, son of Nun. From the time of Joshua ben Nun, this field has been always in the family. It's a family heritage in the family's land. And now the person wants to do something really nice. He wants to be Makdish to Beis HaMikdash. Because Makdish the Soda to Beis HaMikdash. Beis HaMikdash has very little to do with the field. You know where the field is located? It's located near Gaza, or located in the Golan, or located in Tel Aviv. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, in the middle of Yoshua Park. Then what? Then that field, what do Beis Din do with that? They have to sell it and get money to sell the field and then get 3 million shekels for Beis HaMikdash. Beis HaMikdash can do a lot with 3 million shekels. So far, very simple. Now, the question is as follows. Let's say the person who sold the field, and I'm using last names on purpose. The person who sold the field, his last name is Atias. So Mr. Atias, what did he do? He sold the field to another guy, to Mr. Levinstein. Very nice. If now Mr. Levinstein is a person who bought the field from Beis HaMikdash, he consecrated Beis HaMikdash, Atias, who bought it from Beis HaMikdash for 3 million? Levinstein. What happens in the Yovel? Didn't we learn that in the Yovel, then everything has to go back to its roots? Who does it go back to in Yovel? In the Yovel, no, it doesn't go to Atias. He goes to Beis HaMikdash. He goes to the Kohanim who are lucky enough to be working in Yom Kippur of what? Of the Yovel of that year. It's one of the Disim Rabbi Matnas Kiuna is the Hekdesh, yeah? In other words, it goes back to the owner is being the Beis HaMikdash, so it goes to the Kohanim who are lucky to be working on the Yovel in Yom Kippur Yovel of that year. That's scenario number one. However, who is the Makdish? Atias. Now, let's say Atias gave the field to Beis HaMikdash. What a nice man. You know, Lilu Nishmas, his mother, Frecha Bat Sultana. And then what? And then Atias' son is the one who now redeemed it. Atias' son bought the field of Beis HaMikdash for 3 million shekels, and now the owner of the son is not Atias Senior, Atias Junior, the son. Then the Torah says if another man, Acher, if another person redeems it, it goes to Beis HaMikdash in Yovel. If Atias Junior is the one who redeemed it, then it stays in the family in the Yovel. Yeah, whether it goes to the father or stays with the son, that's another question. But in the Yovel, it stays in the family. In other words, if the family redeemed it back into their place, then it stays with them, doesn't go in the Yovel. What I just told you now was very misleading and really nasty of me. I said family, not true. Only the son, only the son. Only if Atias Jr., the son of Senior, the son of the Magdish, if he bought the field back from the coffers, from the ownership of Beis Hamikdash, then it stays in the family. But if Atias's brother, yeah, the brother of the Atias, he's the one who got it from Beis Hamikdash, then it goes to the Koyanim and it disappears into the black hole of Beis Hamikdash, and the family will never see it again. So you see that when it comes to redeeming fields in a way that would not retain even, that would return them to the family, is only a son and not a brother. So we saw two places already. Scoreboard. So far 2-0. Ooh, 2-0. 2-0 to the son against the uncle, against the brother. Yeah, the son has two advantages as an heir. Yud of the Shifcha, of the Ama, and also regaining, regaining the family land is only true for a son, not for a brother. I mean, the brother can do that, but they'll go back to Yovel, yeah? Oh, so you see son against sons, a person's sons against a person's brother, 2-1. Yeah, no, we're all the fans of son. Yeah, that's what we say here too. When we're not sure how to connect the psukim, we say, okay, we know that the son has already so many advantages over a brother. When it comes here about containing and continuing the ownership over the Eved, when there's an X in the formula, logically, when I do the math, I would say, well, the son seems to be much more into it than the brother. And that's, by the way, that's the final answer of the Gemara too. That's the truth. Now we're gonna, as always, elaborate and go back and forth. Frag the Gemara, scoreboard. Adarabe. No. Wait a minute. The brother also has something that the son doesn't. No. Merabe ani esa'ach. I'd like to say Adrab, the other around. I would like to include and add the brother and not the son. You know why? Because the brother has an advantage that the son doesn't. She can come tachas ochiv liyibum. Oh, what happens in the case of yibum? Who does yibum in an almana? Only a brother, not a son. The son doesn't do yibum with his mother, hopefully, right? And therefore, the yibum is only something done by the brother, not by the son. And therefore, you see, maybe therefore, look, the brother has a plus that the son doesn't, an advantage over the son. So maybe really here too, when it comes to an Eved, I would say maybe it's the brother who keeps the Eved and not the son. Answers the Gemara, no, what you're saying doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all, says the Gemara. I'm sorry. What? Kalum, very good. Says the Gemara, you can't compare brother to son in case of Yibum, because that scenario does not invite that situation. Kalum yesh Yibum el bimkom she'en ben. There is no Yibum only when there is no son. There is no son and brother competing in Yibum, because Yibum only starts to B'chlal apply when there is no son. Yibum is actually because there is no son, right? Yesh ben and Yibum. When there is a son, there's no Yibum. Yeah, a guy who lives in 2023 can't be the best basketball player of 1920, because 1920 was not alive. Yeah, he's not competing in the 1920, right? Previous Gilgul. There's no such thing. And therefore, I would erase that from the scoreboard. So really, it's still 2-0 for who? For the son. Because Yibum is not in the scoreboard. Yibum is not a factor. Yibum is not a plus of the brother over the son, because Yibum, there's no son there b'chlal. Correct the Gemara. Now the Gemara gets very nitpicking on that point. Shows you how you have to be careful with your word and your logic. Ella, says the Gemara, wait a second. The only reason why you say that the son manages and actually wins over the brother is because of this pircha, because we managed to break the Yibum business. Scoreboard over here. 2, we had 2 against what? Against 1, right? 2 for the brother. What are the 2 for the brother? That is Yud and Sdeachuza. The brother had 1, and that's Yibum. Says the Gemara, oh, you erased Yibum. And let's say you wouldn't have raised Yibum. Yeah, halav hachi ach odif. If not for that, the brother would have been better. And that's I keep saying scoreboard all the time. Because even if Yibum was true, even if Yibum would be an advantage for the brother, it's still 2-1. I know how to count 2-1. You know that? In other words, why are you concerned to Bichlal talk? Give me 3 extra words in the Gemara. Beautiful people sitting here 10 o'clock in the morning. Why do you have to start talking about Yibum at all? Even if Yibum was really an advantage to the brother, still would be 2 against 1. 2 Yud and Sdeachuza for the son against 1 Yibum of the brother. 2 against 1. No, I know Americans are not much into soccer, yeah, but 2 against 1 in the soccer, well, the winner is 2, right? Not 1. Lahavdil of Avdolos. So what are you concerned, Bichlal, about Yibum? Why does Yibum interest you, Bichlal? Even if Yibum was right, it still will be only 1 of the brother against 2 of the son. And says the Gemara, big ma'pecha. So the achuzo nami mai pirchu de kanafkale letana. And I'll continue. Klumeshibum ela b'mokum she'en ben. Let me explain. We kept telling all the time, I kept telling you, and you believed me, and you're right. I kept telling you, and it's true, that tzedeh achuza, yeah, that who is the one who redeems the sodeh that you consecrated, and he gets it back to the family, and it's considered as something that will stay in the family? Only the son, not the brother. You know something? It doesn't say it anywhere. It doesn't say it anywhere. In other words, it says in the Torah, if another foreign man redeems it, and it goes to Beis HaMikdash to the Kohanim in Yovel, and if somebody from the family buys it back, it says in the family. It doesn't say who is who. It doesn't say who's called family. It's also variables in the formula. It doesn't say who's family, and it doesn't say who is strangers. You know how the Gemara in a different place in Erchin, you know how the Gemara knows that it's a brother? You know how the Gemara knows that it's the son, that it's a son who's considered family and not the brother? Exactly from the 2 other factors. Now I have another scoreboard. The Gemara there in Erchin also was searching who's stronger regarding buying back the field, the brother or the son? Who is the one who's the family? And you know what the Gemara said over there? There was Tai. There was Yud. Yud is written Mefurish that it's only the son. And there was Yibum. And then there was a tie. Yud against Yibum would be a tie. And then either both brother and son can redeem the back, or none of them. Tie means nobody won. Teku. And that's why there we had to kill one of them, which is Yibum, and say Yibum is not considered an advantage to the brother because the son doesn't exist. And then instead of 1-1, it became 1-0, because really there's Yud by the son, and there's no advantage at all by the brother. But that's only because we killed Yibum. Otherwise, it would be 2 against, or it would be 1 against 1. Yeah, it's a goal against a goal. Yeah, each team had 1 goal, and 1 goal the referee decided is possible, is disqualified. Oh, so it's 1-0, right? I think, yeah. Whatever, I'm not so much into soccer, yeah. But that's it. So there we needed to kill what? We needed to disqualify the business of Yibum in order to have Sdachuza. Now you're very smart, you tell me who needs to disqualify Yibum? Yeah, but if you didn't disqualify Yibum, they wouldn't have Sdachuza. You tell me, no, I have 2 against 1. I have Yud and Sdachuza, so I don't care about Yibum. What do you mean? The only reason you know that Sdachuza is something that's a son versus a brother, not a brother, is because Yibum fell off the scoreboard in that game of Sdachuza. Right? You're a big chacham lachar ma'isa. Yeah. Thank you very much. You can only tell me now I don't need Yibum. If not for disqualifying Yibum, I would have 1 against 1. Yibum against Yud. And Sdachuza would be equal. I only know that the brother has a son has a mile in Sdachuza only after I really, about Sdachuza, only after I know the Yibum doesn't apply. That's the way it works. Okay. At the end of the day, again, so who's the one who continues the ownership of the Eved? Who is that? The son. Why? Because when it says Shesh Shonim Yavod in general, it means general, the son. And who's excluded? The brother. Why? One reason, Yud. Because the son has Yud of the Am Ivriya. We assume the son also has the Maila of continuing to own the Eved after the death of the father. Yes. Quick and probably the last one for today. Okay, last session. I'm with you. Oh, how do you know? Up until now, we spoke about the Eved Ivri. He works for the son, but not for the daughter or the uncle or the brother, only the son. Nice. After the death. Ama Ivriya does not work for any, she's not inherited. She's not bequeathed over. The Mr. Master died. She goes home. Minani Mili. Nice, but how do you know that? Omar Bipodo, the Omar Kra, it says in the Pasuk, and I'll read you the Pasuk, the Afla Amos Chotaseken. This Pasuk is an extremely misleading Pasuk. It says there in Parshas Re'eh, I'm reading the Pasuk inside, basically in one word, nirtza. The Torah says what you do to get the guy nirtza, and he stays for you with you forever, meaning till yovel. And then it says the afla amos chotasaken, and you shall do the same to your maid servant, to the girl. If I would read the pasuk kipshutoi, like a Christian or Reform or anything, I would say what? That Retzia applies to men and women. You do the same to the Amascha. Baruch Hashem, we have Chazal to tell us the truth. Says the Torah, you know why we compare the Ama to a Nirtza? A girl is compared to a Nirtza. A Kisha Kosov Nirtza, the Pasuk places her right next to Nirtza to tell you, Na Nirtza ein Ovid Loisa Ben Veloisa Bas, and I promise you we're going to see the source later. And Nirtza goes free. Doesn't work neither for the son nor for the daughter. The person post Ritzia, the master died, he goes free. Afama Ivriya, ein ovedes lo ben velo bas. Very good. And Ama Ivriya, by the way, Ritzia does not apply to her, as we'll say later. So what's the comparison? The comparison is only regarding one thing. Just like the Nirtza, once the Odon closes his eyes, returns his soul to his maker, then the Eved Nirtza goes free, whether likes it or not, unless he Tafka wants to renew. I don't know, that's another Shaila, but Betzim he goes free, halachically. So too, the girl is compared to the Nirtza, not that she's a Nirtza, she's not allowed to have that. She, the age of 7, 8, 9, she also goes free once the master dies. That's a comparison. Nah, Freg the Gemara, that would be nice, but no. The Hai La Moschotase Ken Leach also. Are you sure that posuk that told you you do the same thing? You compare the Amma to Eved Nirtza. Is that what it's coming to tell you? I have another drosha. Hami Baile, look at the Tanya. There is another drosha that this posuk is required for, and that is what? The Afla Moschotase Lehani Franoko. Yeah, we spoke about it yesterday. In other words, the posuk before the Nirtza tells you what? You give him ha'anoko. I told you that's in Chumash Dvorim. Chumash Dvorim is about ha'anoko. The Torah said you give him nice gifts. If he wants, he can stay till the Yovel, and so too you should do to the girl. So too to the girl means gifts. Yeah. In other words, don't think gifts only go for the man, not for the woman. Women's rights. The woman also gets shloishim, and that's what we learn from the Moschot Aseken. Now the Gemara is asking the obvious question: Atomer lahanik oino. Excuse me. Why can't you learn the pasuk normal? How do you know? Maybe the pasuk is telling you pashut pshat. The pasuk is telling you what? You rotzeh the oizen of Mister, and the same thing you do to the girl, meaning you also rotzeh her. If she says, "I love my master, don't want to go to school." I think he asked my 11 years old, she would prefer to be an amma by someone than going to school. I have the feeling, yeah, she would stay. I want to stay there till I don't know. Yovel is in 10 years. And she wants to stay until the Yovel, and she loves the environment. She doesn't want to go to school. Why can't you do it? Maybe that's what Torah says. She can have Ritzia. How do you know it's not? And it says the Gemara, Shu Oimer, the Im Omer Yomer HaEved. It says an extra word when it talks about the Eved saying. If the Eved says, Ahavti es ishti es adonis ishti vezbanai, I love everybody around, I want to stay. It says Yomer HaEved. It's clearly talking about Eved. The word Eved is extra, is redundant. Eved v'loy ama ivriya. The Eved may say, I want to stay forever, meaning till Yovel, and not the ama ivriya. She has no right to say that. Ritzia omu, so we dealt with Ritzia. So leave Ritzia out of the picture. And ama ivriya cannot be near Tzah because it says the slave, the male slave may say, and not the ama. Hamani mekayim b'amoschot aseken. So how do we read the pasuk? You should do the same to the Amma, since it doesn't mean you should do this to the Amma. What are you doing to the same to the Amma? Lehanik, you go to the previous pasuk before Ritzia, La'anoko, good things happen to the girl, just like you give 30 shkolim's worth of produce and nice stuff to the Eved, you give the same to the Amma, very nice, but now it's not very nice. Remember, we're still in a question, because we wanted to learn from here what? We wanted to say, Afla Moschot Aseken, to tell you what? That she goes free upon the death of the master. That's the comparison of her to the Nirtza. Now we're saying something else, and it's a problem because this drasha that the girl has the same thing doesn't mean the same thing regarding she's going free. Same thing regarding receiving the gifts. One pasuk for two drashas, that's musical chairs. That's cruel. And says the Gemara, no. Im ken dichtov kro le'amoscho ken. My ta'aseh. It should have said la'amoscho ken. For your ama should be the same. My ta'aseh. When you say you do the same to the ama, to say to do, shmas minotarti. The extra word, you do the same to the ama, teaches you another extra thing. So afla amas chotasaken really has two vacancies, two empty spaces to learn something from. First thing you learn about an ama, she gets hanoko. And secondly, she goes free by the death of the odon, just like a nirtza. I highly recommend to look at the charts, and if you have any questions or comments, I'll be happy to discuss it, but it's all in the chart. Very nice. Okay, so the only one who does not go free by the death of the master if there's a surviving son is who? The regular run-of-the-mill Eved male, Eved Ivri, who's there within the first 6 years. He's the only one who has to complete his 6 years term until 6 years come, or until Yovel, even though it's a son. That's only the son, not the daughter, not the uncle, not the brother. Okay. Hanirtza vanim kar le'oived koichovim, and ovid lo esaben v'lo esabas. The nirtza, the person who was, nirtza, is already staying over time. He is past Ritzia, waiting for Yovel. Yeah. So he does not work neither for the son nor for the daughter, as I just told you a second ago. That's very nice, but we're looking for the source. And also, Hanim kar le'oived koichovim, a Jew that was sold to a goy, and the goy died. The goy does not inherit, does not bequeath him to Mackenzie Jr. Okay, that's very nice. But what are the sources? Nirtza dichtiv v'rotza adoyno v'sozno b'martzea v'avo doy le'oilom. He should serve him forever. It should have said v'ovad le'oilom. What's v'avo doy? Whenever we see the letter vav at the end of a word, that should be a bit funny, like Tzvi was asking yesterday. V'avo doy. Who's him? Excluding who? In other words, it says by Nirtza, he should work for his master forever, i.e. till Yovel, excluding any heir. No son, no daughter, and no nobody, he goes free. Very nice. How do you know that a yid that was sold to an Eved Kechovim, and those Eved Kechovim, Bahuko Bakruk, follow halacha in Choshen Mishpat in Avodim, minayin? How do you know that Mackenzie Senior doesn't bequeath him to Mackenzie Jr.? When he talks about calculating and buying out of what? Of the goy. It's a big mitzvah. What's happening now in the state of Israel? Pidyon Shvuim, with all the controversy. Chishavim koneu. Yeah, your friend, your brother, right? We have two versions there, right, in the Gemara, is in the hands of a goy, even though it was a willing partner to go there. You have a big mitzvah to calculate and buy him out of the goy. And what does it say in konehu? You have to calculate and deal and discuss with who? The one who bought him. Veloy im yoshe konehu. You only deal with konehu. What's konehu? The one who bought him, and you do not deal with the ones who inherited from the buyer, for the simple reason that they're out of the picture. The way we learn it is, it doesn't mean he stays with them forever, Khalila. What does it mean? That they're just not in the picture. If you're the Yorshim, we don't have to deal with you. What's he doing in your house? Mackenzie, the old man, died? Hey, my brother should be out of here right now, and I'm calling the police to get him out of here right now. He's not supposed to be with the Yorish. I'm not going to calculate and start all kinds of wheeling dealing with disgusting people. Well, what? That's the way it should be. They should be out and back home. Why? Because the father died. So that's it. So Baruch Hashem, we know the sources for everything. And Nirtza does not work for heirs. Sold to a goy does not work for the heirs, and the girl doesn't. The only one who works for the son is who? The 6 years regular male. Very nice. Omarove. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, something which for you may be very simple, but the Gemara, let's pause for a second. Did you hear what the Gemara just said? The Gemara said the heirs of Mackenzie do not get the Eved Ivri. Mashma that otherwise, the heirs of Mackenzie, they do get the other money. That's a Chiddush. Who says, and we are now talking about Goyim the way the Torah perceives Goyim. Don't tell me now, please, the American law and the British law, I'm sure they have many fascinating things to say. The question is, does the Torah, from the Emes Torah perspective, believe and recognizes Yerusha of a Goy? Let's say Mackenzie, the old man, died. Yeah, I come to his house and I grab a piece of jewelry. He had nice jewelry. I want to take it now. It's Hefker because he died. What are you going to tell me? No, 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 no. What are you talking about? Mackenzie left behind Mackenzie Jr., right? And he's the owner. Who told you? Maybe Yerusha is only by Yidden. How do you know Yerusha is also by Goyim? Yerusha is learned by Yidden from different psukim. Maybe there's no Yerusha by Goyim. Yet over here we see that there is. From the fact that we said what? That the Yorshim of the Goy don't get the Eved Ivri. Mashma that other things they do get. Right? They do get the swimming pool and the tennis court and the Chevrolet. That they do get. Only Eved Ivri they don't. Omar Rove, says Rove, yes, Dvar Torah Ovid Kochovim Yorishes Oviv. And Ovid Kochovim Midoraisa does inherit his father, inherits from the father according to the eyes of the Torah. Soon you're going to see enough kamina from a ger. It's also mashpia. Sheneemar, it says, V'chishavim konehu, v'lo im yorshe konehu. You only deal with the koine himself. You do not deal with the with those who inherited the heirs of the buyer. Michlal, that is to say, the Isla Yoshim. You see the what? That the guy has Yoshim. If the Torah comes to deal with it, to refer to it, to relate to it, means it exists. Here's a source that a guy has Yoshim. Yeah, because otherwise the Parsha of Yerusha is written very explicitly, all about father, son, daughter, all that's by Yidden. Here the Torah is hinting to you, Midoraisa, it applies to Goyim too. Now, that's the way it stays. Oh, what about, you know what happened to Mackenzie Jr.? He was mentioned so much in the Shiur, he became a ger. Mackenzie is in the Shiur. He became a ger, the son. The son of Mackenzie was Megayer. Yeah, one of them was Megayer, one wasn't. One of them stayed in Texas in the plantation. The other one became a Frum Yid, was Megayer, learns in Eshetor in Yerushalayim. Very nice, two brothers. Now Mackenzie, the old guy, died. Yeah, all cry over Mackenzie, the goy, the old man. Ger is Ovid Kochovim, Einu B'divrei Torah. Midoraisa, ger does not inherit from his father. Yeah, why? Ger shenis gar k'koton shenoilad. A ger is allowed to marry his daughter, right? Not his own daughter after it was Megayer. I meant, yeah, if they're both Megayer in different times. In other words, a ger and his father, a ger and his son, midoraisa, their biological even so to speak, biological connection is not there anymore. He's not considered to be his father. So midoraisa, Mackenzie, the ger, is not supposed to really get not even one dime or 1 pound from the father. Ela midivrei soifrim. Rabbanan made a takana, and soon you're going to see why. Rabbanan made a takana for a ger, that although midorais is not supposed to inherit from his goyish father, midorabanan, they said, yes, the goy, the ex-goy, the now very from Eshatora guy with a black hat, yeah, that ger does inherit the money of his father, only midorabanan, to avoid problems. Yeah, as we're going to see, that's actually a good place to stop, 10:25. Yeah, we're going to see now. I wasn't stop joking, by the way. The case we're going to see is the case of a ger and his brother, the goy, his biological brother, not halachic brother, the goy. They inherited stuff from the father. If everything goes hunky dory, I'm just giving you a preview for tomorrow. Everything goes nice, you know. You get the swimming pool, you get the the cars, all very nice. What happens if the old Mackenzie, one of his favorite things was a very, I'm not allowed to say beautiful, statue of Buddha, of Avodah Zarah, and he wants to bequeath it to the Kinderlach. So the Mackenzie, the Yid, should not be interested in inheriting Avodah Zarah. And even if he switches it with his brother, it's not so simple, because then you're like trading with Avodah Zarah. Suspense. Let's see what's going to happen tomorrow with this case. Yeah, the ger, his brother, and the Avodah Zarah inheritance. You're not allowed to sell Avodah Zarah, my friend. No way, you're not allowed to sell. You're not allowed to benefit from Avodah Zarah. Do you know you're not allowed to look for enjoyment? You're not allowed to look on purpose for enjoyment in Avodah Zarah. You go to a museum, they show you a statue. It's halacha. I read it. I read it. It's also in many places. And also, if you go by a church, I'm not going to the Catholic church, could very well be for you as Avodah Zarah. You enjoy looking at all the Elilim, all the saints. So it's a big problem. If you have to do it on purpose, I'm saying. No, it's not possible. So Mimela, Mashiach should come soon. Atzlocho bracha. Thank you to everybody here in Avos Shalom. Beautiful full room. And thank you to our viewers on Torah Anytime and in the YouTube channel. Hatzlocha ubracha. Thank you very, very much. Have an amazing day. Geula Shlema.
Really, there's an anyone that was